Welcome to Casual Quest Masters, a casual master quest podcast. In this podcast, we'll follow the adventures of a group of characters who simply want to find their way in the world, but a more sinister plot is evolving around them. How will they fare? What will they do? Let's find out today on Casual Master Quest.
Get your dice ready because we are back to another session of Casual Quest Masters. Welcome to our own Faerun, everybody. Representing Neverwinter is Nikhil Chodimella. Hi,
I play Vol Nightwalker Val Nagoni, and he doesn't really have any time for wit.
Brandon Thresher.
I'm Magdohr Bandiron, and he is armed and ready.
And yours truly, Tyler Vidito, as Rodger, the angry lad who doesn't have a dad or mom. But last, and certainly not least, is our all-powerful dungeon master, Glenn Houston.
I like turtles.
I did it. You like turtles?
I do.
I told myself not to sing song because I hate the way I do it. It's like, you like turtles. You like turtles. How are you doing?
I'm great. How is everyone else? How's the party?
Doing okay. Bull just left the stage. He peaced out. Oh, he's back. Cool.
I forgot to turn off my fans.
Oh, awesome. Perfect. Oh, man. Yeah, this is a D&D 5e live action podcast coming straight to your earbuds. For those hearing us live, welcome. For those hearing us in the podcast, welcome. I hope you like the edits. And let's roll a d20 to see who gets to do the recap this week. Let's see.
Oh, shit.
Did you crit?
Oh, shit. So I rolled a 17.
In a row. I rolled a 5.
Nice.
And Tyler,
fucking damn
Tyler, what'd you roll?
I rolled an 18.
Again.
The curse of what Glenn said, it would be funny if somebody did it every single week because it kept rolling back. It's like, sure shit. Yep.
What about you, Brandon? Did you get a 19 or a 20?
I rolled a 17.
Oh!
And I rolled first, so I thought it was
it.
going to be me for sure.
Yeah.
Like he got nervous, but then I come strump, it's like, oh man, I look like a fool on the red carpet, but then I just like step out of the limousine and go face first into the cement right there. It's like, oh no, it's gonna be that guy. Everybody's turning to look at him, and it's like,
It's fine.
Fuck. That's fine. So doing the recap is supposed to be a punishment, but I'm gonna turn it into a reward. I really like doing the recap. Previously in the adventures of Faerun, 3 adventurers faced off against the Wu-Tarzan clan, also known as, regular bandits. We fought them, it was hard, there was a lot of help on each side, we almost died a couple of times, but thankfully through the power of bullshit we survived. After capturing 2 and taking them to the town of Long Saddle, one of us stayed near an anvil on a bench, and the other 2 didn't really talk to each other, but we all slept in a room together, all 4 of us. 2 good guys and 2 guys are kind of good, but one of them's an asshole and they're both tied up. They saw my naughty bits because I was in my normal form, but that's okay. Next morning, it seems like maybe Vol had some hesitation to the situation because it seems like the bad guys, they're claiming not to be bad guys. They're just doing bad stuff for good reasons, of course. But who the fuck cares? We want money. So we took them back to the town of Neverwinter, where we dropped them off for sweet, sweet loot, which was provided to us through crows. Ravens. Sorry, crows are good, ravens are terrible. And so
the bad guys are still with Vol in his room.
Okay, the bad guys are still with Vol in his room, who didn't have to worry about doing any kind of checks or anything because apparently they're chill at this point. We'll retcon that later. But yes, the ravens were trying to give us sweet shit, and 2 of us said, yeah, nah, and the other one got some sweet shit, suggesting with the note and some good stuff that maybe there'll be more work for him soon, and to meet a Jura somewhere at the specified location the next evening.
Oh, gee.
And that brings us Eat My Ass. And that's my recap. Wait, is it Ajira or Algira?
Algira.
Elgira, eat my ass. That's her
Elgira.
last name. It's canon.
Elgira.
Okay.
Algae.
Oh, that's
It's
That's
an
a-
E.
that's
L.
that was a good recap, I think.
That was good.
I did my weird gravelly voice to sound kind of like half-ass Solid Snake. Find out in the next
Michael
episode
Bay.
of Dragon Ball Z.
Explosions.
Cool dudes don't look at explosions.
It's just two brothers, and there's a grandma. Nobody? Rick and Morty?
Mick and Rory.
Yeah. Okay. DM, please take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. So absolutely. Thank you for the recap. And because it's technically something you have to do because you rolled a certain way, if you do the recap, I'm going to grant you an inspiration point to start the session. Thank you for that.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. So yeah, last we left our adventurers, you were shooing away the raven. I don't remember what did you do, Magdohr, when the raven came to you on the bench?
I picked up the stuff and put it on the table and went back to sleep.
Okay, great. So for the story's sake, the raven is not leaving the window. You shoo it, and it just kind of like hops out of your shoe, away from your shoes, but it's not going to go away. Rodger, it seems as though
Oh, to me. So how did he get near my shoes? Did I leave my shoes on the windowsill?
When you
means your
you're
shoes.
shooing. The amount of shoes that you are doing, it's just sitting on your shoes.
Oh God, he's got. It's like I'm shouting, "We do not negotiate with terrorists," because it has my shoes now outside.
And
It's
Raven's
like,
got a
"You want
shoe."
So what do you do when it won't leave the windowsill? Even if you close it, it just kind of sits there and waits.
Okay. Can I cast message on the raven?
Yeah, but it can't understand you. You would know that it only works if the creature has an intelligence of a certain amount.
No, that makes sense. I just wanted to test it out. See.
You can talk to it. It'll hear your tone, for sure, but it may not understand exactly what you intend.
All right. I try to get out of its view for a second to see if it can't see me. I'm assuming it still stays there.
So you hide and then peek back to see if it's still there?
Just for a small moment, and just to try to set the mood, I try to start snapping my fingers. Like I'm trying to give myself confidence by role playing it out. Shocker. And I start snapping my fingers like all gangster walking down the alley, and then
jets and sharks.
Yeah, I'm trying to look cool, and then I push the window open maybe 2 inches, and then I kind of back off.
Yeah, it's still there.
Well, aren't you gonna come in? I opened the door for you. Are you a vampire? Do I need to invite you in?
So you opened it up and then kind of step away so it could hop in?
Look, it do its thing,
Yeah, it hops in and sits in the open window, but just still on the windowsill. Just not, it's in effectively.
Oh, this is a messenger, Raven. They came and untied their own bags. Wow, it's thought I was gonna have this problem with Amazon. I eventually just get mad at this point, and I untied the bag, and then I look at him and I say, "I'm not giving you a tip."
Turns and cocks its head at you a few times, and then
Okay,
just
fine.
hops to the
Jeez,
window
here's
and
a
then.
copper. I give it a copper.
Oh, you set the copper at its feet, and it pecks it a few times, and then grabs it and flies away.
Okay, I was gonna say if it doesn't, I'm gonna call its manager and everything and say, "You're okay." I gotta examine this bag. Does it look like something that is inherently magical?
Not that you can tell if you're just holding the bag itself. It doesn't feel like it has anything in it. If you imagine, I don't know, when I was a kid, I loved collecting precious stones. Those little itty bitty bags that have the little squeezed, tie that you pull.
Like a dice bag?
Yeah, well, but they're small, little. For our audio listeners, about maybe the size of a clementine, so it's not very big. But when you feel the bag, it doesn't feel like there's anything in it.
Do I see some little stones in it? And it's is this a raven or a magpie? What's going on here?
Yeah. So that's what you see when you mess with the bag.
I sigh, I look at the camera, and then I reach in to grab whatever is inside.
Cool. So you open it and you feel around inside, and it feels larger than the space that would normally be provided by a bag of that size. And the first thing you grab is a single gold piece, as well as a note that will give a nice little recap for last episode, that for some specifics about what was asked of you for the next part of your adventures. A note. Do you read the little note?
I read the note out loud, yes.
Awesome. It says, "Adventurers, you have done well, and I would love to give you a job with a little more responsibility and thus pay and clout. If you could, please meet Elgira at the Beach Leviathan on this evening for dinner, and she will give you another job, and also let you know who you're working for. Please do myself and her the courtesy of being there on time so that we may continue our working relationship. Cordially yours, a friend."
And I say this out loud, including the part where I say melt Ajira, and it's like, I am going to melt Ajira if she only gave me one of the 5 gold. What the hell is this shit? I am mildly...
I apologize, Vol. Was it 5 gold?
Yeah, it was 5 gold.
Okay, you find 5 gold. I'm sorry. It was 5 gold.
Okay,
I was thinking for whatever reason that it was only 1.
I was like, okay. We cool. It's like that Hades where Hades gets mad. Okay, I'm cool. We cool. And he cools down and chills out.
And at this point, you realize that, feeling around in there looking for stuff, this larger space, something in you when you reached in, because the way a bag of holding works is that you think of the item that you like to grab, and when you don't know what's inside, you inherently know that something is there, but you may not know what it is. So you know something else is in the bag.
I look at the camera again, and I reach inside and I grab whatever I'm getting the sensation of being in the bag is.
Sure, yeah, you pull out what looks like a set of goggles, and they kind of appear as though they're metallic in nature, bronzish, and they have dark blue tinted lenses that you can't see into looking in from the outside. And kind of what looks like a nose piece. So if you were to wear this, you would kind of look like an owl.
Okay. It's like, my way to fight off the Raven by showing my own dominance. Oh, that's right. I'm technically here by myself, am I not?
Yeah. You're in your own room.
Okay, let me well, if you're gonna be alone. There we go. Now I got my voice. With these goggles I shall become... I don't know. Okay, I have no idea what these do, but they...
Will become
I can't
Roggle.
put my beak on it. Roggle? The Roggle goggles. What time is it? Did we just have our long rest? Or is it right before we took our long rest?
I believe it was right before the long rest, so it could be assumed that the note is speaking of meeting for dinner tomorrow.
Okay, cool. I guess I lie my back on the bed, feet kicking in the air, while I look at my new diary that is in fact a pair of goggles. I'm a little excited child with that. Was just given a toy, so that's going to be it for me.
Are you going to hold on to the goggles and keep them near your person, as you rest?
Yeah. Cool. I'm just going to, look at them and, kind of like yeah.
I was going to say, you are an arcane user. What is your passive arcana? And that'd be 10 plus your arcana.
It's not amazing if I'm going to say 10 plus my arcana. That would make it a majestic 13.
13? You know that these are probably magical just based on their makeup. You can tell that there's something about them that is not normal. These aren't just Ray-Bans or eyeglasses. These aren't sunglasses. There's got to be a reason for that aesthetic.
Okay. I understand what I look at the camera, and then I was like, it's pretty dark out. Let me try these on. And I put them on.
You have dark vision while you wear them out to 60 feet.
Oh, this is disgusting.
These are called the goggles of night.
Cool. I put them in the bag.
Yeah. Those are for you. Magdohr, when you wake up, as we've seen Rodger does his evening ritual of opening all this and playing bird.
I just want to say, after Magdohr, before we fall asleep and go to the next day, because this is Magdohr in the morning, so we'll finish with him. I was going to interrogate the other two, the two prisoners. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, and you already opened up your bag. You found the boots of own kind. Great, awesome. So what would you like to do in respect to that? How would you like to go about that?
Oh, well, we can finish with Magdohr's loot first.
No, you can go first.
Okay.
We'll do you
cool.
because this is in the evening, and then we'll go into Magdohr when he wakes up.
So we're back in my thing, in my room. I got my payment, got some new boots. The 2 prisoners are gonna be on the floor. I ungag both of them, and I get a chair, and I do the thing where I put the back of the chair in the front, and then I sit on it, and I'm like,
Cool school teacher.
yeah, what the fuck is going on? They're both ungagged.
And they both look at each other, and they're like, and the nicer one goes, "Who are you talking to? Both of us?"
Doesn't matter. It's like, you told me that there's something going on, so somebody start speaking before I hand you in tomorrow.
Oh, and as he, the nice one, seems to, because nobody's asked their names yet, seems to be like hesitant to talk,
Prisoner
and he doesn't
one,
know exactly where to
prisoner
start. The other one goes, "Man, we're getting overtaxed. We fucking decided to do something about it."
Who's overtaxing you?
Never remember? For repairing the city?
Does the name Algira mean anything to either of you?
No.
So it's just the whole city as a whole just out to get you guys.
Well, we just felt like we were, we put too much back into the pot, so we wanted to take some back out.
It's not
You got a problem with it? I mean, what, you're not gonna turn me in now?
No, you're still an asshole, so I just might turn you in. Your friend's nicer. And I might let him go.
You catch more with honey than you do with other yucky substances. And he's like, "Shut the fuck up, Dave."
Dave's a stupid name. You said that they made the Traders Guild suffer, or they shut it down?
I mean, we're overtaxed. The city had to be repaired, so everybody had to get taxed. Everybody got more taxes, and we just decided to do something about it.
Oh, so everybody was taxed the same because the city needed something, and then you guys couldn't keep up and decided to say fuck that, and then attack people and take what didn't. I see.
Yeah,
so
when they were repairing that whole city, like we needed something back. We're the ones that are doing the work.
I see it. So you decide to attack normal people just going about their day-to-days, getting things to other places.
And Dave chimes in. He's like, "My friend doesn't phrase it very well because, like you said, he's an ass." We are a part of the Merchants Guild. We work doing our own private business, but we were commissioned by the city to do work. And then we did the work and we got paid, and we were told we'd receive a tax break as a result of doing the work since it was for the city, but we didn't receive that tax break and we're still taxed just as high as everyone else. So we felt, since Neverember and his constituents wouldn't do anything about reimbursing us for the work that we said, would be done, we're not really, paper folk. I don't know how to say it. We're not scribes. Not all of us can read. We're just, men of the land. We work with our hands. We don't look over contracts very well, and there was some fine print in there that made it so that we didn't get the tax break we thought we were going to get, and so we were going to take some things back so that, put food on the table for our families. I mean, it sounds terrible the way my friend put it, but really we weren't going to do it much more than the next few weeks just to kind of make up what we had lost.
You were still committing a crime to fix another crime.
Yeah, but who's going to persecute a Neverember for not following through on what he said he would do?
I will not pretend that I have the answers, or that you are not right to have come down this path, but you're still doing crime to solve crime. Do you see the logic there?
It's the only thing
you're hurting other people for being taxed, for being lied to about how much you'd be taxed.
Now that you say it that way, it doesn't seem very good. I just, I'm not the most assertive of people, so I just kind of needed to keep the porridge flowing for the wife and daughter.
I'm taking your mean friend in. I'll just say that you died in transit.
Take me in. Don't take him. He's got a bigger family than me.
All right. Sounds about right. Cool. We'll do that.
That's fine. I'm sure that Phil over here will take care of my wife. He's like, yeah, I'll make sure they have food.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant take care of a different way. I was like, oh boy.
Oh yeah.
I'll decide what to do with either of you later. I'm probably not going to take you in just yet. I need to figure some things out.
Oh, okay.
But you're going to hang out here on the floor tied and bound, but I'm going to give you some water and some food.
Are you going to feed it to us? Because I can't really. And he tries to pull his hands up. And he's like, I can't really do it myself.
Oh no, don't worry.
I also kind of got to pee.
Then I point at the bucket and the chains in the corner that I happen to have, just for the sake of RP. I'm just gonna chain you to the wall. I take the dagger back that I gave to him. I untie their hands.
Bull's house.
Chain them up. This is normal. This is just a Goliath's house. They have different interests. It's don't judge.
No kink shaming.
Yeah, no, I just make sure that they're bound so that they don't try to do anything stupid, and then, I don't end up getting stabbed in the night because they could have been lying for whatever reason.
Sure.
Yeah, that's really it. Just make sure that they're treated decent. I gag the mean one through the night. I let the nice one be free of a gag.
Great. They are appreciative. They're happy for the food and water. And they don't bother you again.
Yeah. And then I go to sleep. Yeah.
Sweet. And as you fall asleep, we hear that as the sun crests into the window, looking into Magdohr's forge side apartment. As you hear normally the warmth and the sound of the hammer and anvil is something that soothes you, but at some point during the day, with the combination of light and the sound of people starting to be active, it does wake you up. It's like a gradual alarm. And Magdohr, you're woken by the soothing sounds of the anvil and the beginning of a day's work in a forge. And you wake up to see that little package on the table that you had received the previous night.
Well, I'm going to grab my arm and put it back on, twist it a few times, get on there and look over and look at this bag and pick it up and kind of take a look at it.
Sweet, yeah. Like I said, it's a smallish bag. Doesn't seem to have anything in it.
I'm gonna open it up and kind of look inside.
You look inside and you don't see anything. It just looks dark. Even when you hold it up to the light, it's almost like the light can't penetrate past about a half-inch in.
All right, I'm gonna hold it upside down and kind of just shake the hell out of it.
You shake the hell out of it and nothing comes out.
I'm gonna shrug and then close it up and move outside to the bar.
All right, cool. Out to the bar?
Or the Beach Leviathan.
Okay.
It's a tough time. You gotta drink.
For the sake of the narrative, we'll say you were supposed to meet for lunch. I don't want to make you guys do it.
Magdohr just always lives at the bar.
Okay, well, I just also didn't want to make you guys burn an entire day just waiting to meet with her. So, it's for lunch.
It's Vol, Rodgers, and Magdohr's day off.
Yay! Great. So, Vol and Rodger, when you two wake up, what do you do? Magdohr is headed to the Beach Leviathan for his early morning pint.
I'm used to kicking back during my time off. I think he would do his thing usually. But what were you saying, Vol?
No, I was just gonna give these Dave and Phil some more water to drink, maybe a tiny scrap of food, because I haven't done my groceries yet, and then kind of do my morning routine, some light stretches, get ready, take out just one sword, and then head to the Leviathan when it's time.
Okay. And Rodger, you just kind of relax by yourself, a little alone time, recharge that charisma.
Yeah, I minor illusion a box from the hide-in. I make sure that all the windows and stuff are closed as I'm looking around in my new goggles, just trying to it's like getting a military tool and then using it for childish purposes. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. It's like, wow, this bazooka can blow stuff up. This is so cool.
I've got a military grade drone. Let's fly it around the city. Cool.
As I'm looking around though and admiring it, I get a little excited emotionally, and some sparks kind of shoot off of me, and it's like, whoa, and Rodger has always had a trouble like containing his magic powers whenever he gets emotional, even if it's positive emotion, and sometimes he has to keep everything in check to the point that when he does express anger and stuff, like when he's talking to people, he has to actually fake his own anger at times just so he doesn't accidentally unleash stuff, because we saw in last episode when he gets emotional, he crits, which is how I wish it would work, but instead it's the opposite. But and he notices that like when he got excited, white light started coming out of his hands, and like just to the touch it felt better. Like he felt like suddenly he could heal. And he looks and he's confused because he's used to fire and ice coming out of his hands, but the fact that suddenly a new power has developed within him, he's confused. And the camera like zooms out from a different angle from like underneath the bed or something, I think he would eventually come swinging out looking for Vol, because he found 2 new toys today.
Awesome. And thank you for that, for narratively describing the fact that you leveled up.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and so you, mechanically for our audience, what did that level up bring for you?
For me, nothing too crazy on my Sorcerer class end. That doesn't really happen anything big until level 3, but I do obtain the ability the resource pool sorcery points, which allows me, for right now, I can turn my sorcery points into spell slots or vice versa. It's not a perfect 1-to-1 ratio, but I do have like the ability to generate more spell power now.
Nice. And always hit points.
Hit points, of course. Being a sorcerer isn't exactly making me the most tanky, but I won't die in one shot immediately. Yes. Hopefully. And I did get 2 new spells, Healing Word and Shield. Awesome. I learned one new spell from leveling up, and then I traded out one spell that I knew I was never going to use for something useful. So I'm now able to bring somebody back from death and hopefully give myself some more AC in case I get the shit kicked out of me again. Like if Crazy Dave's younger sister comes in with a large cane, I'm not going to be in immediate trouble, just some trouble.
Yes, just a little bit. What about our other friends, Magdohr and Vol? What did your level up bring?
Mine didn't really bring anything.
No hit points?
I got a little bit tougher.
There you go.
A nice long rest, is good for the vitality, good for the constitution.
Yeah, because you are sorry. Oh my gosh, Rodger, you are working into being a Divine Soul Sorcerer. Magdohr, what are you working into being?
Magdohr's a Forge Cleric.
Love it.
So I did get my Channel Divinity.
Awesome.
But we're going to save that for a little later.
Awesome. Cool. And Vol?
I'm a little bit tankier now, which is nice. I'm up to, 19 HP.
Nice.
So that's nice. I picked up 2 weapon fighting as a ranger feature. I get an option between archery, defense, dueling, and 2 weapon fighting. And so 2 weapon fighting will allow me to add my modifier to my second attack that I use on my second weapon.
Very cool.
So hopefully that helps me out, unlike last time when I was just getting dicked on all of my attack rolls. I also get 2 spells with 2 spell slots. And
you're a Hunter Ranger?
I'm probably going to go Hunter Ranger. I was looking at it now, and I'm like, I wanted to do Beastmaster, I wanted to do Gloomstalker, but then I was also like, I just want to play DPS. That's what I want to do. So I'm going to do Hunter Ranger, which is going to be insane. And I've been thinking about also starting a multi-class pretty early into, this is just speculation, this is just looking at everything, but probably multi-class with Fighter, just to give me more, DPS, some more attacks, and do more damage. But we'll see. Let's see if Vol survives
Let
first.
it play out.
Yeah. But I picked up Hail of Thorns and Absorb Elements.
Awesome.
Yeah, Hail of Thorns will allow me to do it scales with level, so at this level it'll allow me to do an extra 1d6, I think it is. when I do a range shot, it'll what did it do?
Do you have Hunter's Mark?
No, not Hunter's, not yet. I don't have Hunter's. Cool. So Hail of Thorns will allow me to do a 1d10 piercing damage with my normal ranged attack.
Very cool.
And then Absorb Elements will allow me to absorb incoming energy, like elemental damage, and then I can release that back on my next melee attack up to 1d6, and that also scales up.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Hypothetically, could I shoot a firebolt at you and then you can like return fire at something else then?
As long as it doesn't turn me to ash, yes, technically.
Yeah, he would take half damage from the attack. But the beauty is that if someone hits him with, like, I think this happened in Ready to Roll's podcast, somebody hit one of our players with a little bit of elemental damage. It was like a D4, and then he returned it with a higher level spell slot. It was crazy.
Yep. He had an aura that does 2 damage per turn, and the sorcerer or whatever like triggered it to do like insane amount of damage.
Yep. He's still
but Rodger could potentially kill Vol.
I mean, if I were to attack him, yes, but I mean...
Well, is that a sacrifice you're willing to make?
No, I would say Vol should step on a bonfire or something like that, so he takes, 1d4 fire damage or something.
Well, if you do like Chromatic Orb again, like you did last week and crit, and if you did 14, and if I use my Stone's Endurance to cut that down, then I could still absorb it, and then I could send it out.
The only thing about Absorb Elements is you have to take damage. Yeah. So if you cut it down to 0, you wouldn't be able to use it.
That's true. Elements. Yeah, but if it's more than
and
12,
both of them are a reaction.
Yeah.
Both of them burn reaction, so you can only do one or the other. Sorry, but you also gain resistance to the triggering damage, so.
Asking for a friend. Are you building your character to kill me?
Me? No. I'm just building my character to hunt down as many people at any time as possible and kill them all.
Okay, just making sure. Just the way that I was joking about like doing it to assist you, but then we started actively describing how you were gonna do it to negate my assault on you. It's like, oh damn, okay.
A good hunter is always prepared against any target.
Okay,
he's not wrong.
Fair.
Awesome. So now we understand a little more narratively about how your strength is being manifested. And Magdohr, without having read the note, heads to the bar, but he's always at the bar. But you two head there around noon. Yeah?
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah, like, I'm bumping up against Vol and saying, hey, Vol, look what I could do. I can, like, I see, like, the world's tiniest cut, like a paper cut on his arm. Like, what's this? And, like, I put a finger on it, and it like, disappears. And I was like, I can heal.
So you're telling me you're going to be even more useful now?
Yeah, I'm more useful. I'm going to be... I've always been more useful than some dickhead swinging a sword. Yes, if that's what you're asking. But thankfully, you're not that. You're a smart man who will give his son some credit. Right, Pops?
Good job yesterday.
Good job tomorrow, too.
Today's average.
Great. So
today I'll probably drink because I'm a man now. Like,
with your lower voice?
He lowered his voice and he gave himself like a little extra bushier beard because he went to default person number 3, which is the default human-looking person in Neverwinter. But, like, he feels like getting healing magic, his balls have dropped as a changeling. And so, like, he's like, I've become my own person. It's like, I suddenly challenged my parents. They're going to threaten me to start, paying the electric bill kind of stuff. And, yeah.
I'm going to make you pay your cell phone bill now, boy. Awesome. So, yeah, you guys have this good banter that you always have between you two as you walk to the Beach Leviathan. And as you enter, you see your friend Magdohr is already sitting there enjoying... I will say you probably got yourself through several glasses at this point, yeah, Magdohr?
Yeah.
So there's a couple empty glasses sitting there, and he's probably halfway down on his third. But you've got a tab, so it's fine. You haven't had to shell out any coins so far. And
it's like 100 gold.
It's a big tab.
We'll leave town before then. Don't worry.
It's just this. The whole adventure really is working to pay off Magdohr's tab. That's all it is.
This cone of
I mean, I'm not against the idea. Like, he has
It's like I heard an idea for a campaign where they were like, it's just a bunch of mages and bards that went to colleges of magic,
and they have their debt.
they're just paying off school debt. Oh man. Anyway, so you walk in. Do you guys go straight to him, or what do you do when you come in the bar?
Rodger, are you wearing your goggles right now?
I
Like Naruto?
probably have them. I know the dungeon master wanted that, so I'm humoring
have
him.
to.
I'm putting goggles on top of my bald head. It's kind of sticky because it's skin the rubber contact, if you will. I'll probably take them off, but just for the aesthetic of showing them off, I do come in. I probably have it to the side like one of those Ibuki demon mask or whatever from the festival.
Yeah, because you're fucking edgy.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Sick as hell.
Hell yeah, I'm edgy. I'm fucking cool as shit right now. But yes, I am.
All right.
Also remember too,
So
your
then
little
when they walk
pouches
in-
are pouches of holding. They can hold up to a cubic foot of things.
When they walk in, I'm just gonna kind of look up and see Rodger. Like, what in the forges is that?
It's a man. It's what you see. Look at this. And like I show my hand, and I got that light goldish glow. It's like I can heal now.
Oh, so you don't need me anymore then, huh?
I always needed you, friend. You and I, and like there's like maybe I hit the automatic piano thing that whatever we agreed on, and it plays like a nice somber tune. It's like, without you there in my life, I would be incomplete. We are two parts of a whole. We are family. And
Sorry.
I thought you were gonna have it.
couldn't
I thought you were gonna have it
help
play Two of Hearts. I mean, two hearts that beat as one.
No, that's a song that Rodger tries to get Vol to duet on karaoke night at the Leviathan.
like and Vol just sits there, just stone-faced, eyes forward, as like I'm like dancing around him, trying to get the mic out to him.
Two of Hearts.
I just read it. I just read it like it's a paragraph. Like there's an old age magical prompter. I'm like Two of Hearts.
Well, you
hearts
gotta
that
use
beat as
inflection. You gotta raise the tone up and down.
It's only until I get.
Where'd you guys get? Sorry,
I was gonna say it's only until I get at least half a barrel in me when I start like a little bit of inflection, but no more movement.
Wait, did you get new boots too? I'm looking at Vol now.
Yeah. What'd you get?
Where'd you guys get the coin to find that?
No coin. It was a gift for the job. Came with the
We
raven.
sold,
What?
we sold,
I didn't get anything.
Okay,
sold
didn't you
off
look
the
in your bag?
slaves. Yeah.
This bag? I'm gonna hold it up. And
There's
there's nothing
stuff
in it.
inside.
It's
Put your
empty.
finger in it.
They say if you put your hand in the bag, only the person who wishes for it shall get what they receive. And I'm going to put my hand in his bag after seeing that bullshit message, and I'm going to grab whatever I can sense in there. Can I
you can
actually
sense
grab
that
it?
there's some coin. You can sense that there's a note, and you can also sense what feels kind of what in your mind kind of feels like some sort of like a container that would hold a liquid.
Okay. I'm going to ignore the golden liquid. I'm going to pull out the note, and I go, aha, is this your card? And I look and like, oh, fuck. And like, I take the note.
Yeah, if you open it up, it's the same note that you received.
Yeah, and it's like,
What are you doing? This is my
awful
bag, my
cursive.
raven, my
Boy, give it
crow.
back to the dwarf.
I don't
Stop
care.
messing with his
I don't
things.
even know what else could write. Yeah, take it. Oh.
So yeah, Magdohr, you open it up and see the, our audience doesn't need to hear that a third time. I don't like the sound of my own voice that much. So it's the same note.
All right.
Telling you to meet there in approximately probably you guys would, enter within an hour,
Nowish,
half hour
yeah.
of currently. Yeah, you're almost there. By the time.
I can't make this. I've got plans.
Are those plants drinking here right now?
What else is in the bag? Let's see.
You reach in.
So, yeah, I'm going to reach in.
Okay, yeah, you can feel like there's some coinage in here, so there's 5 gold. And the other thing...
Around on me, everybody! Everybody
Boy,
drink.
give me a mead.
Jesus, that clipped hard.
It's going to cost you 1 gold for a round for the entire bar.
Half a round for everybody.
Shot glasses of beer for everybody.
So everybody
Sample
gets like
bottles.
kind of like half glasses of drinks, basically.
I'm gonna run the glass down the bar and everybody gets a sip out of their straw, but if they don't catch it, it's their problem.
Or like a party bowl in the middle of the bar. Awesome. And then do you reach in for the last item?
Yeah.
You pull it out and it is... let me see if I can remember exactly what it looks like. And by remember, I mean type it and actually pull up the picture for myself. What you pull out is a ceramic jug that looks like it could hold about a gallon of liquid, and it's got a bunch of different colored stoppers around the edges and a large one on the top. And it weighs about 12 pounds when you pull it out. But you can hear sloshing.
How big is it? Like,
yeah, it's probably about, yay big. It's probably what took up most of the space in this little pouch.
all right, so like a milk jug size.
Yeah. And it's got
Kind
a
of,
bunch of,
alright.
stoppers with different, that are, dyed different colors and one on the top. Like they're all over it, It's kind of interesting.
All right, so
Rodger has no idea what this is, but he's looking at like somebody gave his older brother the better Christmas present.
I'm gonna look at it and be like, well, in case there's a drink in there, I don't want to open up any of this. And I'm gonna kind of, I don't exactly know how I do it, but I'm gonna identify.
Sure.
I have identify
The way
as
to
a spell.
identify... Oh, you have identify as a spell.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can do it as a ritual. So it only takes 10 minutes and it doesn't burn a spell slot. So you can sit there holding it for 10 minutes and then you'll just know what it is. Unless you want to know what it is now and you want to burn the spell slot, and then you'll know it.
All right, I'll do it as a ritual, but I won't say anything. I'll just start like
Just
holding it and staring at it.
Boy, is the
Cool.
dwarf
What-
okay?
I think he's
You're a magic user. What's he doing?
I look and like I put my hand on the back of like Magdohr's head to see if he's gone unconscious.
Oh, no, he's fine. He's just looking
Okay.
at it.
Well, he's fine. He's scanning full, as you should know.
And as a magic user, you would know that it's going to take him a little while to do this. Unless somebody can... It seems that he wants to know what this is.
It's going to take him about 9 minutes and 45 seconds for him to snap out of this, because if it took any longer than 15 minutes, I'm pretty sure this dwarf would die of dehydration from alcohol. So,
Just enough
Don't
time
worry.
to get a drink. Here you go. And I
keep a
I
beer
give,
near him. Actually, keep a beer away from him because he might have to cast it a second time. Maybe the dwarf could, Magdohr, do you want me to baby bird you some alcohol while you do this? Grunt once for yes, grunt twice for no.
Rodger, what are you
that
doing?
was
Get the
what-
dwarf some alcohol.
I go and get
My hands are
alcohol.
falling asleep, holding them up like that.
Oh, in real life? I thought you just
Yeah, I was holding them up in real life.
Can you imagine doing that to the item then? Oh god, dude, like
12 pounds,
your
man.
biceps are like tensing up, just trying to hold this thing up perfectly still. Yeah, I get him a beer and I try to funnel feed him like a little feeder, like a little hamster water bottle, so he can like lick it off, so he can get his fix, but still cast his magic. Like I understand alcoholism.
You also know that you could probably make an Arcana check with your knowledge of the arcane and just tell him what it is if you can remember back well enough in your studies.
Well, good thing I didn't study because I'm a sorcerer, not a wizard.
It's inherent knowledge.
Oh, cool. The power I knew I always had.
It's always been within you.
I'm trying to get him, I don't get anything good for him. Give him like a Bud Light or something like that. Maybe a Bud Heavy. While I'm stopper feeding him, I'm going to cast a gazing eye towards this object to see if I recognize any kind of school of magic or properties that I could discern from it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an Arcana check.
Oh, do I have to?
Yes.
Okay, I got a 19.
Oh, yeah, that's great. That's an alchemy jug. Alchemy jugs have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 10 different liquids that can come out of each one of these different types of stoppers. And basically you use an action to name a liquid from those things, and the jug produces it. Afterwards, you can uncork it and pour it out at a rate of up to 2 gallons per minute. Obviously, that being possibly limited because once per day, depending on the liquid, there's a maximum amount that can be provided. And so, once the jug produces a liquid, it can't produce a different one or more of one that has reached its maximum until the next time. So once each day, one random thing can be poured out of this. Everything from acid to beer to fresh or salt water or oil.
I mean, it's all
or mayonnaise.
I don't know what that's going to be used for.
We're going to be stranded out in some island somewhere, and all we're going to have to drink is beer because he refuses to produce any water.
It can produce 4 gallons of beer per day.
So we're going to have even more beer to drink.
Can we say the time it took Rodger to get me that beer, bring it back and feed it and identify it was about 8 minutes?
Sure.
8 or 9 minutes?
I thought, it took me 9.5 minutes. It's
so
a really
he brings
big,
you the beer and holds it.
Here.
It just like stares at it while you stare at it. And then Vol, what are you doing while they're just like staring at this alchemy jug?
Oh, I would have gotten myself a nice meat, and I'm just sitting there and looking at him stare at it.
Yep, you're all watching and staring. Yeah.
Are you gonna tell me what it is, Rodger? Or
I mean, I figured you wanted to figure it out the moment I figured it out, or something like that.
Well, I was thinking a minute early.
Oh, sure.
Let me go through all of that.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, by the way, that's an alchemy jug, Rodger to Magdohr.
I say it exactly with Vol's voice. Boy, that's an alchemy jug.
Well, why'd you wait till the last minute to tell me?
I didn't. I waited until 8 minutes and 45 seconds in. Technically, that counts as minutes.
So what is an alchemy jug? I didn't get to figure it out myself. You came in here, swooped in with all of your arcane magic.
And at the end of that sentence, it's been the extra minute.
You're gonna have to identify again.
No, a ritual. You don't have to be completely quiet. You just have to be focused on it. And you were still focused on like the idea that you weren't able to finish like this thing, but it was still actively going. You were still like your arcane focus was still on it. And then you realize those exact facts about it, understanding that it can produce 8 ounces of acid, a ½ ounce of basic poison, 4 gallons of beer, a gallon of honey, 2 gallons of mayonnaise, a quart of oil, 2 gallons of vinegar, 8 gallons of fresh water, 12 gallons of salt water, or 1 gallon of wine. One of those things up to the maximum once per day, recharging it done.
I gotta write that down.
Yeah,
cool.
I can send it to you.
Link.
Yeah, it's just called the alchemy jug. If you find there should be something.
Right.
Well, it's cool because for those who are listening, obviously, well, I mean, all of us technically at this point, it just looks like a giant jug that has like 8 different corks or so sticking on different directions, and whatever you pluck off, shit will pour out of it. And the idea that you can get 1 gallon of honey every single day if you wanted to.
I still see it as a milk jug in my head with corks in it.
A ceramic milk jug.
Milk
that
jug.
pours beer.
Can it be broken? Can this be broken? I kind of tap it on the table.
It doesn't make
It
even a
shatters.
dent. It looks like it's going to take a lot to really bust this. You would have to work at it.
Oh,
Well, what do you boys say we test this out now?
It's your jug.
Do I know which quirks lead to which liquid?
Yeah, it doesn't require attunement or anything. And with your
let's get some beer and open up the acid one.
I start eyeing the cork that says mayonnaise on it. It's like, ooh, drinking contest.
I actually had a player use 2 gallons of mayonnaise to implement disadvantage on an enemy once. So the alchemy jug is fun. He's like, I dumped mayonnaise on his head, and I was like, all right, let's go.
Good. He's
cool. So you want to pour beer? What would you like to pour there, Magdohr?
Oh, we're gonna get enough cups to pour all 4 gallons.
You're gonna pour. Where are you pouring these 4 gallons of beer?
We're gonna get tankards from the bar.
Cool. You have like, Honestly, you've drank 4 glasses, and these are big old glasses, so we'll say you have enough with those empty glasses to just refill your empties. So you got like 5
glasses.
Big steins.
15 liters. What do you mean?
Yeah, that's a lot of fucking booze. Like, if you got a single glass that can hold a gallon, I think it's going to be so heavy with beer, Rodger couldn't even pick it up.
Oh, you can pick it up. There's straws.
Bendy straws.
No,
Your boy
more
got
than
this
bendy
from
straws
for you, and it's a
There
crazy
are silly straws.
silly straw.
I'm a man now. I don't need those cool-looking swirly straws that, make noises when they go through.
Yeah,
I
this
need
one's
a
in
straight
green.
straw. I'll take it.
Inspiration point for
So
everyone.
I'm gonna pour it all out.
I'll set the trend.
Awesome.
Well, I'm gonna pour 3 gallons, and then the last one I'm just gonna fucking hold it up to me and just drink.
Okay, go ahead and make a
chug,
Constitution
chug,
saving
chug,
throw.
chug, chug.
And I
look
get
at full
You
surprise.
have advantage,
Jeez.
yeah. Dwarven resilience.
poison resistance too.
You have
I rolled an 11.
with advantage?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
you rolled the second 11
you're
with
feeling-
advantage.
This is the most intoxicated you guys have probably ever seen Magdohr. Magdohr usually holds his liquor really well. So this equates to about like a solid buzz for one of you guys.
That's some good shit, guys. Have some.
We're
And
waiting.
as you say, that's some good shit, guys.
Lemon
After you
water.
finish it, you realize that the whole time you've been yelling chug, 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 and he finally, pulled aside and said that's some good shit. Magdohr, you realize that on the opposite side of your 2 friends, because you're facing the entrance in my mind, standing about 2 or 3 feet between your friends is Elgira, and she says, "Wow, how much did you just drink?"
Remembering what happened last time, I just tasted it.
Don't let her touch you, Magdohr. She'll sober you up.
I know she will. That's why I'm lying to her.
She's evil.
Well, sometimes the voices of reason is not appreciated, but good job on the job. And she pulls up a chair and sits down, and she says, "May I?" And she reaches for one of the steins.
By all means, I'm sure that jug that the dwarf there has will be able to make us some more later.
Very good.
Is this from you?
I mean, it's from my benefactor. He wanted to include a little something extra because he had heard from those in his contacts in Monsaddle that you actually had some captured some alive, and you would bring them back to us.
Yeah.
And I have yet to see them, but I assume that they are somewhere safe, that they can be procured for us.
I have them at a secure location. We're gonna figure out the details on that after this.
Yeah, negotiate before we, pass them along. As you requested, of course, my lady.
Absolutely. Two people to interrogate and, and get information out of, and hopefully just get a clear picture of why this activity is taking place would be invaluable.
And
at protecting the people
execute,
of
right?
Neverwinter. Not necessarily. I mean, they're stealing goods. They may serve a little bit of time, but I can't speak for the
Murderers
judge.
don't get executed here?
Oh, they hadn't actually killed anyone. They were just raiding and taking stuff.
That's weird. I didn't know you knew that.
That's what the report stated. So
I look at the report. Who wrote this?
Says Rodger at the bottom.
Damn, I signed my own name on this.
Oh, no. The reports we had previously received of caravans that were being raided. People were harmed, but no one was killed. So that was part of the reason why, we didn't, reach out to, crazy high-level adventurers, because you are great at what you do and you are perfect for the job. So
Oh, yes, the Goblin Slayer is cool.
we didn't,
I watched-
nobody was being necromancied or anything, so.
I watched a man stick a sword in me, twist it, rip it out, and then proceed to sell me sparklers. Are you telling me these people don't deserve to be put down?
Gave you sparklers?
Yes, he was trying to sell me wands of prestidigitation. It was ridiculous. 50 of them for $5. They're cheap. I didn't know if he had them. I'm not lying, I swear. It was bull. Did you not see this man?
So who's our benefactor, Algira?
God damn, we're gonna do this again. I'm a man now.
Today.
You don't meet him.
We stay here,
he
right?
Is, and I can state that he is a he. And at this point, you see her say a few words. You can tell she's muttering an incantation of some sort, and she brings her hand up and then closes it, and you can see what looks like kind of like a warbly invisible wall around you in your corner around this table, and the sounds from outside of this warbly wall are kind of like muffled, as if the sound from within will also not be as easy to perceive. And she's like, just in case, I don't want anybody outside of our table to hear who your benefactor is. He is no other than Lord Neverember himself.
I see.
Out of character, I fucking called that from a mile away. In character, I'm like,
Yes, he had taken notice to the fact that you did a great job working for doing your normal job, and thought that you'd be perfect for this. But now that you've done so well and even brought back people for us to, gain more information from, he thought maybe you'd be interested in another job that's a little simpler. It's less pay, but it's also a lot less work. But it will give him an understanding of whether or not your skills translate to jobs more than just escort. It is similar, but it is still different.
Right.
You're kind of confusing.
I apologize.
What-
I'm not meaning to be veiled. Do you have any questions?
How did you and Mr. Neverwinter meet?
Neverember? Lord Neverember. Lord Daggle Neverember, you may refer to him as my Lord Neverember, anything like that, if we get the chance to meet him. But I met him just through, I was a member of kind of like, my family comes from a good place here in Neverwinter, and we're well thought of. And I was intelligent enough that I caught his eye, and now I am a representative of him to interested parties for work and jobs. And sometimes I'm even, among his, private counsel on certain meetings, and, issues that he deems my wisdom necessary for.
that's excellent. I'm very impressed.
Out of character. Tyler, does Rodger know Elvish?
I was about to say something very raunchy. I'm just going to cut to it. Yes, I do.
Brandon, does Magdohr know Elvish?
No.
Okay. So now back in character. In Elvish, specifically, I'm going to say, so does Lord Neverember know that the bandits are from the Merchants Guild?
And in Elvish she says, is there a reason for the change of language?
Well, I interrogated
We're already
them.
protected from outside ears, Is there anyone of here? And she looks to Magdohr and Rodger and says, can they understand me? Can you understand me? And she looks at both of you and asks, in Elvish.
Hey.
I haven't drank. Good.
No, I was just.
That's a standard response.
I did say last time to her, "Hey" in Elvish one time, so I just say it again.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Looks inquisitively towards Magdohr.
I'm gonna look over at Rodger. Says, I think I might have drank too much. I can't understand what they're saying anymore.
Okay.
That's why the change of language.
They're speaking in tongues. I'm not sure what's going on over here with Vul and LG.
Did you drink some? Did you drink some of this too?
Yes. No. Yes. Yes. No. Yes.
Remember, you got a silly straw.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So at that
They say
point,
if you
she
drink-
switches back
Go
to
ahead.
common and says, I was not aware of the fact that they are connected to the Merchants Guild. This is new information to me, as well as my lord. And I'm sure that if those that you brought back are, willing to, I assume they didn't divulge that in their combat with you. How did you find this out?
I took it upon myself to do some interrogation because they said that there was injustice caused upon them, and that's why they were raiding the caravans.
Now I can't lie, we were aware of some frustration within the ranks of merchants of Goliath. Are they connected to those who worked on the reconstruction?
Yes, and to me it sounds like that they were lied to, promised a tax break, and that tax break wasn't given to them. Mind you, I'm not taking sides. I'm just trying to understand
I don't assume this.
I'm working for and why I'm capturing these people.
You've been transparent with us up to this point, so we will do the same for you. We did have them sign something. There was a clause within it that said that if they did not complete that job within a certain time frame, that they would not receive the tax break. They did not, and then they were mad that they didn't get it. So all I knew is that they were frustrated. Yeah, no, the job was not completed in time, in the time frame requested. So they didn't receive that. Now, obviously, they were not asked to do extra work, and we paid them the agreed upon price. They still got paid. They just didn't get the tax break. It was an incentive to finish it within a certain time frame. I understand that they may be frustrated, but honestly, this is one of those things that comes from not reading the whole contract.
Well, a lot of them can't read.
Some of them surely can. They have to, keep ledgers. And,
that's fair.
Obviously, I didn't broker the deal myself, but I'm aware of the contents of that agreement.
Your problem why they didn't get it done in time? I know exactly why. No. Next time, go to the dwarves. We'll get it built done.
Well, there are dwarves among them.
Before.
There are dwarves among the Merchants Guild, but this particular group of merchants in the Merchants Guild did not have dwarves. So next time, I'll make sure to do that.
Thanks, Algie.
I think that they might have been unfairly treated, but that's not for me to say on a public level. But they still were doing crime to solve a crime.
Sure.
Rodger. You've been kind of terrifyingly quiet. I'm not sure what you're thinking over there.
Rodger has his arms crossed, and he hasn't really been turning his head nearly as much. But he's been kind of looking around because he's getting new information, but not from the person he would have suspected it from. And he's just listening in the take in because once he realizes that something was held from him, he wants to make sure he gets the whole story before he lets loose. So he's been just quietly listening and taking it in.
Awesome. So how are we all feeling? I do have another job for you if you're interested. Like I said, it's similar in nature to the escort from previous, but it will have its own difficulties. It will take less time, require less of you, and pay a little bit less as a result of this. But on a scaling amount of, difficulty, it is a little harder. So for the less time, you're still going to receive more money proportionately and will continue, if successful, to gain jobs. Neverember is a man he requires actions to instill confidence in him, in those that he works with. So he needs proof of skill before more difficult jobs are presented.
Do we get more cool items?
I mean, depending on the level of success, part of the reason why you received more, that we felt that was an adequate compensation for capturing members of these bandits. That was the bonus that I got him to agree upon. Hopefully this is agreeable to you.
We work well as a team. If Rodger here and interested, then I will be too. In my head, I'm dealing with you and not Lord Neverember. And you've been, from what I can tell, as transparent as I'm trying to be, because I'm just trying to earn my wage and just get by.
Understandable. Magdohr, Rodger, how are you feeling? I will not proceed to continue. The relationship is amiable, I promise you that. And I am a voice of Neverember, but I am not him. But I trust him. as much as I could trust anyone on this earth.
Got a question. You said that the pay is a little less, but you haven't told us how much.
Well, it depends on whether or not you are all interested in continuing this, because as you said, you work best as a team, and I would much rather have your coordination as a group. So if you don't all agree, then I won't present the job. So that way, I'm not going to pull you away from each other. So you all seem very close, and you work well together. So I'd love to keep that chemistry going with this sort of job, especially as this one, without revealing too much about the job itself, is a little more important to me, and you'll find out if you're able to agree upon joining.
If we all agree to join, but then don't like the job, can we back out?
Absolutely. I would just ask that you wouldn't share any information about it.
That's when she kills you.
No, not at all.
At the words personal to me, like I've been kind of like maybe not looking at Rodger directly, but I've been kind of giving him like a little side eye. I look at her and I would like to deduce if there's some kind of truth to the whole personal to me statement. Okay. I'd like to roll an insight if I could, please.
Go for it.
Which is not great, but it's still better than nothing. I got a 6, so...
A 6?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it seems about as honest as you could deduce. It doesn't seem... You wouldn't think she would have a reason to lie about that, because it's revealing information about the job that she had said she couldn't tell you about, but she wanted to assure you of her, honesty.
Finally, after being quiet for so long, I do ask aloud then, what makes this so personal?
I will be involved with it directly.
I guess technically that does constitute personal, but I feel like that was mislabeled.
How so?
I'd like to think that personal means maybe your family's in on the line, or maybe you have a personal investment in it. You being
my well-being is on the line, so it's kind of personal to me.
Well, I'm glad you finally changed your answer.
Well, I said I would be involved directly without giving too much information. I'm trying to keep it veiled while being honest until you agree to the job.
How about you actually be open with us for once?
How
and I'll look at him when I say that.
Just a second. I did that thing where... Awesome. And she, for the first time, looks at you with a little bit of narrowed eyes. And she says, I've been nothing but cordial. I've been nothing but as honest as available. And I will not be treated as though I have been anything otherwise. Do you agree, or do you not?
I don't like being thrown into a game to where you own every rule in the rule book. How about you start changing them to suit the players here and not just you?
It seems as though our relationship has come to an end.
Seems as though I can't roll a persuasion check in this house.
Vol? Well, you can. You just gotta... This seems like intimidation. You're like, hey, lady, shut up and be honest with me. And she's like, I have been honest. And you're like, nah. What do you... If you would like to make a check prior to her saying our relationship
I don't want her to be more
dissolved.
honest. I want her to be more open. She's been nothing but shut doors. I mean, she's honestly saying this door is shut. It's like, that's cool. You're giving us
until you choose to open it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to defend her out of character. I won't defend her out of character. I'll let her do that in character.
Yeah, I mean, the agreement here at least was to she would give us all the information if you would show interest, and then we can back out if we don't want to take the job. That's why I've not stepped in yet, because at this point, Vol's like, well, we need to figure things out on our own. I can't dictate somebody else's life forever.
And it's just you keep saying agree versus I'm interested, and it's like I'm not agreeing to the job. I'm interested though.
You're interested. Okay, that's all I needed to hear. Now, the job is pretty simple. It's nothing crazy. It is a little bit of an escort, but it's to a different, more seedy part of the town. Lord Neverember has had arranged a meeting for some people. The meeting itself is with persons that I won't reveal because of their position within the political spectrum of the city. But they wish they needed to meet with me personally as a representative of Lord Neverember at a tavern called the Fallen Tower, north of the river, in the Tower District. And Lord Neverember thought, since obviously I can handle myself, but if this meeting, because these people aren't exactly the best of company, if people are, you understand politics, people are always trying to stab someone else in the back, whether or not that's with their words or with an actual weapon. And he is wary for my safety in this meeting, though he deemed it necessary for me to have it with them. And after your successful escort of this wagon train all the way to Longsaddle through a seldomly used road, defending against bandits who had not been successfully fended off, he thought that you would be the perfect people, and also knowing me, and having a familiarity with the city, you'd be great to take me there, wait for me to have my meeting, and then walk me back.
What did you say the pub was called?
It's called the Fallen Tower.
I think I've been there. I don't remember, though. I can't remember half the pubs I've been to.
It is one of the most popular taverns in all of Neverwinter, so I'm very sure that you would have been there before. Some people come to Neverwinter just to go.
Yeah, that's fine by me. I mean, it's going to be in a pub. What are we going to do? Drink while we wait? Oh, no.
I'll even provide some, per diem so you can get a couple drinks while you wait for me. As long as you promise to, stay about your wits, as I don't know who may be monitoring me and or this meeting, so.
I've never been without my wits.
I'm sure that's very true. Rodger, how are you feeling about this job? Is there any questions you may have for me?
Oh boy, it seems like it's a standard bodyguard job. But we're all making decisions together. How do you feel about it?
Rodger probably doesn't say anything at first, and he just says quietly, looking at you, your decision is my decision for now.
Now, it seems as though there is a bit of trepidation, and I understand this. Now, I will divulge something to you if you're okay having this information. Now, having this information is a little bit of a double-edged sword. But I can tell you a little bit more if you're willing to if you want to know more and feel more confident in the transparency of the jobs that are being presented to you, and myself included in that. But having that information may also be a problem. It's hard to dictate that.
I understand. It's not a need to know for me, nor do I think Magdohr particularly cares, because it's a job we're getting paid to do to protect you, regardless of who else is involved, and to drink. But in this case, I think it might put Rodger at ease, and if it puts Rodger at ease, then it'll make the job go smoother.
Rodger? Would you like to know?
There's so many things I would like to learn of the world, Lajira. Some things maybe I shouldn't know. Some things I want to know, but part of my grasp. I look at her. If you feel that it would help with the mission, then yes.
And she looks at you, obviously analyzing your body language and the things like that. She's going to make an insight check on you.
Sure.
And she is attempting to determine something with this insight check. Narratively for our audience, she's looking at him trying to size up how comfortable you are with this job. So what would you say your confidence level is on, in them as a whole, in, the people, both her and Neverember and the jobs they're giving you, on a 1 to 10? Or 0 to 10? Just give me, what's your confidence level in them?
I'd probably say I would have pretty low confidence in the situation right now. Especially with the information that between Vol talking about, these people getting screwed over by fine print and being reasoned over, I haven't really had time to process that as a character, so I'd be a little bit muddled in feelings. Mm-hmm. And then between my little outburst that either got retconned or didn't. I have no idea, actually.
Yeah, that didn't happen. That was as a result of me like being really in character, and as a DM I get way too in character sometimes, and sometimes I need to make sure that, because in real time we're able to process these motivations, but I am a person playing a person interacting with a person playing a person, so we need a little more time sometimes. So that is not canon for sure. You're fine.
Damn. It's very clear I do not trust her.
Okay. She says, I will tell you, and only you, and you can choose what you do with this information. Is that fair? Who I am meeting with, I can't tell you why, because obviously that's between Neverember and them. It's it could be anything from, well, I need to buy a house, but you don't need to know when someone buys a house, but so the contents of the meeting I cannot divulge, but I can tell you who he is meeting, or who I am meeting with.
I continue to look at her expectantly.
Okay. And she puts her hand out, opens it up, and then squeezes it tight. And for the purposes of your characters, for the purpose of character, Vol and Magdohr, you are outside of the circle now, as it is just around both of them. And she says, we are meeting with representatives. If you want to take your headphones off, you absolutely can. But I trust you to roleplay it either way. She says, we are meeting with representatives of Bregan de Aerth. Bregan de Aerth is a rogue faction from Menzo Berenzin. They are usually male drow who have either willingly left the matriarchy in the vast underground city. You know what Menzo Berenzin is?
I've heard of the drow.
You've heard of what?
The drow.
The drow, okay. Menzo Berenzin is basically their capital in the Underdark. These usually male drow have been either exiled or willingly chose to leave that because of whatever reason. And Bregan de Aerth is a faction that has taken them in and unified them. And there is a group of them living here. They operate primarily in the shadows. They are usually out for their own self-interest, but are not inherently bad. But
familiar.
Lord Neverember understands the influence of a group as such with people of the skills that they have, as Menzo Berenzin and the Underdark are very, very difficult places to live and survive. And so these people are genuinely hardened by that. They tend to be very good at protecting themselves and the things that they care about. So he has interest in meeting with them for reasons. But that is the faction that we are meeting with representatives of for reasons that unfortunately I can't tell you everything about, but at very least you know that we are meeting with them. And I hope this is enough. I wasn't, honestly, you cannot tell Neverember that I told you who I was meeting with.
Can I roll an insight on that?
Sure.
Yay, terrible insight incoming, 15.
Yeah, no, she is absolutely very serious that you cannot tell Neverember that you knew. Or that, more specifically, that she told you. If you found out by your own means, great. But, if he ever found out, you can tell that would put a strain on the relationship between her and Neverember, and she is risking that relationship for your confidence.
Maybe with these words, with these words, my character does soften up a little bit, because obviously, you give him a toy, he'll be your friend for life kind of thing. As he, his expression does get less hard, he physically looks like, maybe not literally softens up, he turns to goo, but he doesn't look so hardened in his look. As he does that, he does continue to look at Elgira, and could you describe her for me, if you will?
I believe, if I did describe her when she initially came in, let me make sure I stay consistent with that.
Sure. All I remember after listening was, a wood elf. I don't remember eye color, hair color, skin color.
I think it was dark brown hair. That's all I think I can remember.
I mean, if not, we can retcon it. Maybe she's a changeling too, for all we know. She just changes it. Yeah, I like that idea.
She's a wood elf. I do remember that much. Yeah. She has emerald green eyes with auburn hair.
Auburn.
And
that's
she's... Yeah, and she has genuinely elvish features, big pointy ears, very thin frame. And she wielded, last time you saw her, she had a quiver on her back. but you didn't see a bow, and she was wearing a cloak over everything. This time she is wearing more like pedestrian stuff. It looks like last time she may have been out of town or traveling back in or something, and now she's wearing just like, around town clothes. They're still leather armor, and she has a couple daggers, but she's pretty, simply equipped.
Before, I guess I should respond, shouldn't I? All right, I'll play the game. Gonna take a little bit for me to warm up to your lord, Algira.
I appreciate that. Just understand, if you trust me, then you trust him. As weird as that may sound, because I trust him with my life. Now, I know that politics are a weird, shadowy, murky place where sometimes, morality seems to be skewed, but I do want to assure you.
Go ahead, sorry.
You're fine. I do want to assure you that he has the best intentions of the people of the city at heart.
Do I know out of character, or it's, I guess technically in character, about the history of Neverember and the fact that he got, I believe, ousted?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he used to be in Waterdeep, the biggest metropolis,
yes.
On the Sword Coast. And this would be shared knowledge for all of you guys. There is a group of people called the Masked Lords of Waterdeep. And they all wear these very ornate masks that change their voices and sometimes even their physical appearance. And they're lords, people of high station that meet to determine the greater fate of Waterdeep, and usually most of the Sword Coast, Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter, some of these other larger cities on the coast are kind of the metropolises that everything focuses out of, and Waterdeep is the biggest, and that's where they meet. And obviously those lords can be from anywhere across the Sword Coast. And there's one whose identity is known, and they're called the Open Lord of Waterdeep, and they are the head of the entire council. And at one point, he was the Open Lord of Waterdeep, but he spent so much time in Neverwinter when he was trying to get the city fixed up, which he is still in the process of finishing up, that the lords down there ousted him and voted to have him removed from that position. Probably, I think, less than a year ago. And so he's had even the thing about it is his focus hasn't really changed. He's just a little more angry. Like the people can't really see it per se, but he is before he was just really invested in Neverwinter's well-being, but they felt he was putting so much interest in there that he was neglecting his duties as the Open Lord for long enough that they felt it necessary to remove him from that position. And now he is
so much time and hard work in the city, and the people don't appreciate it. It's like, at this point, it's like, do I need to use a Nickelback theme song, here for this? Look at this city I build. Look at these fields I tilled.
We built this city.
But yeah, so you all would understand at very least that he was the Open Lord. They thought he shouldn't be anymore. Now he's not. And he is now Lord Neverember. I believe he has a different title. Because he can't be the king of Neverwinter, because that actually comes from a line, and the crown of Neverwinter has been missing for a very long time. So there has not been a king
Prime
here.
Minister?
It's kind of like what's his face, the Theoden in Lord of the Rings when he's not the king of Gondor or whatever.
Shadow King.
When he's like he has another name where he's basically like sitting in as the head because
King
the
Regent?
king's gone. Yeah, like something like that. He's the Lord Neverember, head of the city of Neverwinter. There's probably a name for it, but I don't. Lord Regent. We'll call him Lord Regent. It sounds great. So yeah, you would all know that.
Is she still holding contact with me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
until you finish this. Yeah.
I am gonna cast a message to where even just out of stupid paranoia, because that's how Rodger is. Rodger says one last thing: can I show you my own secret?
Of course.
And he looks at her, and one of his eyes changes colors to match hers.
And she just smiles slowly, kind of like when. And I don't want to make this is definitely not meant to be demeaning, but it's a knowing smile. She just winks and says, "Don't worry. I knew." These eyes are more trained at that sort of sight beyond sight sort of thing. I know. But I will never tell.
Moonbeam too? Okay.
I will never tell, though. I promise you.
Cool.
And she goes like this. Little cross over her heart.
There's a problem, Elgira. The prisoners know.
You are?
What?
Did you say you're prisoners?
No, the prisoners know.
Oh. Then just... I don't know. We'll figure something out. Just be cautious with it. Why did you reveal your form to them?
Because I was in danger by a man with wands of prestidigitation.
There was no wands of prestidigitation. I'm talking to myself.
You just said me out loud.
You're thinking back through the conversation.
That stupid boy talking about wands.
Vol just sticks his head into the barrier.
She says, don't worry. We'll make sure that there's ways around fixing this that are high level of magic that won't affect them in any way other than removing that from their recollection. Does that make sense?
Yes. As I become more me, I've found new ways to protect myself so I don't have to resort to primal instinct. But
don't be ashamed of who you are, though. When you're among myself, if we ever have a place where we can meet that's more private, I will not be off-put by you being in your more comfortable form.
Bow chicka bow wow.
I look at Vol and I say, it'd be the first time in a very long time. And,
yeah, for the first time while they're talking, you see him look at you, Vol, and she says, very well, I think we've been here long enough.
Hey, Dwarf. What the fuck are they talking about?
I hope that you trust me a little bit more, but understand that I will do anything I can to build that bridge. Okay?
Okay.
All right. And then she opens her hand back up and it spaces out and she says, well, how are we feeling? I think I may have helped our friend here, Rodger, to be a little more confident in what we're doing. Magdohr, Vol, you're still feeling open and up to the job?
I just nod.
Yeah.
Very well, very well. Okay, so now I can let you know that the job is happening tonight. It's this evening. It will be well after dinner time, so just make sure that your drinking doesn't too get raucous, Mr.
I've got plans.
Magdohr, it's after the dinner. After dinner, after drinking, just make sure you sober up a little bit. I trust that you'll be with your wits.
Yeah, it's a job.
Yeah,
I'll be there.
You're professional, I believe in you. But it will be tonight. I would love to meet you in the town square at about... Actually, there's a bridge that goes across the river in the town square. If we can meet on that bridge and head there around probably several hours before midnight, and we'll head there, and you should be back within 2-3 hours at the most. Oh, and the pay. The pay.
Yes, the most important part.
Glenn has to look back at his session notes.
I'm gonna say, I don't even respond to this. Like, I've been thinking about so many things, like, even coin doesn't mean a thing to me at this point.
So the pay is 1 gold, 5 silver each for this simple escort. You bring me there, make sure I'm safe. I'll go into the meeting. I'll come out, come back. You escort me back to the bridge. At that point, there will be several Neverwinter town guards who will escort me back to my home within the Protector's Enclave, and your job will end. As long as I am unharmed, then the pay will be full. If I have, for some reason, received serious injury, you will still be paid, but it will be only 5 silver. And if I don't come back, obviously, you will not be paid.
What if we heal you?
If you can heal a serious... I mean, by serious injury, I mean I'm like, oh no, I lost a limb, or I've lost my,
I can fix that.
I was blinded. You can restore limbs.
Does it hold up my arm?
No. It has to be my actual limb. If you can restore an organic limb, obviously though, I think that the mechanics that you've used to make sure that you have the functionality of an arm are quite intuitive.
It wasn't me, unfortunately. I don't have the knowledge for this. My deity helped me out.
It was instilled on you by your deity? That's the stuff of storybooks, my friend.
I do have a request, Algira.
Absolutely. What can I do?
Would you happen to know where I live? I would imagine.
I do not have that information.
You do not have that information.
I'm sure it could be found, but I try to make sure that the personal information that I don't need to know about the people I'm working with stays personal.
That's fair. Send a couple of guards who you trust to pick up the prisoners. Because honestly, this seems like a problem beyond me, and we found people committing a crime, and I shall treat it as such. But I would like to ask, if possible, to make sure that they're not armed.
Oh, I assure you that. And their crime is barely violent, so
and apparently they have large families, so
I'm sure they do.
Unfair.
Tradesmen often tend to have plenty
nice
of little kids. So
that's
I will do everything within my power to make sure that they are not harmed and that their sentence is as minimal as possible. I know that there is a good likelihood of the sentencing being against them, as you caught them in the act. It's a little hard to prove that they shouldn't be charged with something, but I see almost no cause for them to be in prison for more than a month.
Okay, and then I'll
really peaceful here. I like this.
I'll give her my address for guards to come and collect them.
Okay. And this is something I kind of thought of in the moment because this feels like a conflict that could have been avoided, and I hope that I'm going to run something by you guys. This is me just on the spitball here. Do you think that it would be worthwhile, as you said that these men said that most of them couldn't read well enough to see this clause, do you think it would be worthwhile to have someone within the trade, like within their guild, who we appoint as someone who can be present at the meetings to make sure that they understand what they're signing? Next time, because there's going to be more contracts, and they are good tradesmen. I'm not going to stop working with their guild because of a few families getting frustrated enough to take action. But do you feel that would avoid conflict in the future?
That seems like a good idea, because I also don't know if they were completely honest with me. I don't know if they knew about the limited time that they had. This was new information on your end that I'm learning about, which is why I was trying to avoid jumping to any conclusions about the morality of individuals.
That is wise. Well, if you all think it's a good idea, then I will try and convince Lord Neverember that we should do this to avoid future instances of insurrection by those we work with, because that's not the intention. Obviously they were fully paid, they just didn't receive a bonus by having a tax break. So, we didn't feel like we had done anything wrong. They just didn't meet the contract fully, so they didn't get all of the agreed upon things. Just like if you bring me back and I'm missing my arms, you wouldn't expect to get the full payment for the escort quest.
But I can fix that.
I can't have metal arms, my friend. I use a bow.
Contract agreement says to bring you back alive. It doesn't say anything about missing limbs.
If I have a grievous injury of some sort. A grievous injury would be constituted as missing limbs, I believe.
What are you saying? Someone with arms can't function as a member of society?
I'm saying I can't do my job without my arms.
All right, you're fine.
This is written for me. Obviously, Master Dwarf, you do your job well, and we all know that. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about you helping with this job. You don't receive the attention of Lord Neverember without some merit.
When we meet up later, I'll run you through some of our strategies should anything go wrong.
Great.
Just so.
I will. This has been a good meeting. Thank you for having me. And she opens her hand up all the way, and you hear, the muffled sounds from outside become present once again, fully. And she says, "With that, I will buy a round, the same as last time."
Yes.
I'll have it
mighty
sent over.
generous of you.
Yeah, I always like to make sure those I'm working with have me in good standings when they think of me when I'm not around. But I will have that bought and sent over. The contract will be brought to you by the same means that you received your money for the last completed job.
Can I take a messenger?
A messenger raven, yes.
Like a courier, if you could.
It is more expensive to pay a person to do a job than an animal do for some bread.
Could you train your raven to leave it on the windowsill then?
They are quite intelligent. I could attempt to do this.
Yes, I'm going to say they're great creatures. They're great creatures. It's just, I don't like ravens.
Okay, we have another option if you don't. It will expend some magic of some of our magic users, but within the context of your bag, it's just kind of a pain because there's no way to alert you. But I can have an item basically sent to your bag.
Like a direct deposit, if you will. Okay, versus a
yes.
paycheck.
It will just. It's just hard to know when it's there. So if you would check on the hour, if that's the preferred method of delivery, then we can do that.
I'm sure if my compatriots get something, they will let me know, and I'll happily check the bag. It's just the idea
it will be
of
delivered by the evening.
Or for now. Sorry, carry on, Tyler.
Using a creature like that, the servant of one of the greatest deities this world has ever known.
And
deliver. He kind of looks at you and he looks at you with confidence versus this paranoid distrust. But as he tries to say the words, he shudders and he goes, whatever works.
And I'm going to have her make a history check. Now, if there is a deity this is the DM trying to get information out of the players, which I've never seen before. I rolled a 22 to determine if she would have heard of this deity.
Oh, I thought you said the DM was does the DM get a plus 20 as a history?
No. I set a modifier in my head before I rolled the die.
Ravens are creatures of death, and the person that would serve it, or it would serve, would be known as the Raven Queen, goddess of
death. The Raven Queen. Okay. All right. And she says,
that is why Rodger is terrified of them.
Well, maybe we'll just have a pigeon sent to you or something.
I'll take a pigeon. The god of pigeons actually doesn't quite frighten me as much. Doesn't have the same tone. It's like the god of warm oatmeal. It's just not as threatening,
Very well. We'll make sure you get the note, though. And I will see you all at the bridge at 10 or so.
Understood.
TYVM BBL.
All right. And she stands up and gives you a curt bow and smiles and walks to the bar, orders. And a few minutes later, you see, after she steps out of the bar, your preferred drinks brought to you. What do you do?
I'm going to say that Magdohr didn't drink too terribly much. There's probably one last gallon left of that stuff. So he wants to save it. So he's going to open up the top cork of that and just kind of look into it, into the alchemy jug.
You can't see anything, but you can hear the sloshing.
All right,
it doesn't ever change weight. It's really weird. You poured out 3 gallons, and the weight didn't change. It still weighed 12 pounds.
Right, I'm going to just pour in that final mug into the jug and seal it up.
Oh, you poured the mug back into the alchemy jug?
Yeah. I don't know if it does anything, just lore or RP-wise. He wants to save it.
RP-wise, it does. Yeah, no, it doesn't do anything.
All right.
It just pours over the table as he tries to funnel it in.
What did you get last time that she would have provided?
Oh, no, not the new one. I was saying for the old one, because I didn't want to waste the one that I poured from the jug.
Oh, so you're going to pour the rest out of the jug for the day so that you keep it. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, you do that. Just fine.
And then I drink what she gave me. I'm good.
Awesome.
Yeah. Does this tavern have a tropic berry spray?
The equivalent, yeah.
Okay, well, I'll take
a carbonated beverage that tastes fruity. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I drink a little bit, and then I go and take a kind of nap or go back to my apartment to receive the guards. I'm assuming she might send that day.
Okay.
Yeah, but beyond that, I think just rest up and ready up for the battle in the night.
Awesome.
Yep.
I think as Vol would be walking away, he would notice that someone's dragging onto the back of his armor or whatever he's wearing, and he would turn around to see me looking at him haughtily.
And then
Yes, boy.
Yes, boy. Yes, boy. Yes, boy. It's been almost 10 years. You need to find a new term. Don't worry, I will help you with common. Why did you hold that information from us?
I literally just learned before we got here.
So the time that we were walking to the tavern, something of that critical importance you kept to yourself?
I was thinking of what to do.
And speaking with your compatriots was not one of them?
I did what I thought was best.
We will earn our salt with the group in time. I promise you that. I've done that for years. I've tried for years. Magdohr is fantastic, and I'd like to think I'm perfect, but we can all disagree in some shape or form. However, if there's one thing I know you don't recognize, that is strategy, tactics. You love to charge ahead and murder stuff. There's got to be a little planning here. You got to believe in us.
This has nothing to do with either of you. This was about what I wanted to do, and I made a choice.
Well, it sounds like you made another choice. And he does walk off.
Rodger walks off.
Yes.
Are you going back to your apartment?
Yes. I'm going to because he noticed, like, as he was saying that, the tips of fingers were actually starting to get hot, and he realized he needed to separate himself for a little bit just to cool down.
Okay. So Rodger walks off. Magdohr, what do you do?
Magdohr's gonna go to his room and just kind of look at his arm, his iron arm, not his real one, and remember that they were the conversation earlier about the deity, and he gets this surge of inspiration that he can feel is from his deity. He wasn't necessarily praying, but to a forge god, looking at iron's the same thing.
Well, divine inspiration.
And so he's going to set it down and start on a ritual for his arm there, where he's going to channel his divinity into an artisan's blessing.
Awesome. And that manifests in higher craftsmanship and a little bit more effectiveness, yes?
This is going to be for looks for now.
Okay.
Instead of dislocating at just the arm, it's going to be the arm and the wrist.
Oh, awesome. So it's like gaining an extra joint.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. And as Magdohr leaves to go work on his arm, as he kind of eyes it as he walks away, what do you do, Vol?
I was
the last one at the table.
Yeah, no, I was on my way to my place when Rodger stopped me.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so I'm just going to wait for the... if that's going to happen today, I don't know. But if it's going to happen today, wait for the guards to come pick up the prisoners.
Yeah. Did you want to have an in-depth conversation with them or anything?
No,
like
I made my decision regarding them, so I'm just gonna make sure that they're bound and gagged, and I'm just not gonna list any of their pleas.
Okay.
Because now it's beyond me.
Cool. When you walk back, you see two guards knocking on your door. As you approach your house.
You here for the prisoners?
Yes, we are.
I let them in.
Awesome.
Unbind them from the wall, and then
they say quite a setup you got here.
Awesome.
And they use their own manacles and get them all taken care of. Take the gags out and kind of point at them and warn them that they just don't talk. And they take that stern warning to heart. They've already dealt with that with you a little bit. They understand when someone says something, they mean it. So, and these are official city guards, and they're imprisonated, and they've got manacles on. This is serious. So. Yeah. Do you have anything else to say to them or the guards?
No. I'm thank you. I just nod, and then they go off on their way, and then I slowly start getting ready for the night activities.
Awesome. And if you guys don't have anything else you'd like to do, then the rest of the day kind of passes as Magdohr works, and you prepare for the evening. And when it gets closer, you're able to gather your gear. after having a good meal, a hearty meal to feel healthy and well energized. Is that okay?
May I give a 30-second cutscene for some roleplay?
Sure.
Rodger does go in and like he shouts a little angrily, and maybe he has to stomp out a flame he accidentally starts on the floor. And there is a particular spot where you see scorch marks where he's done this before, where he's gotten emotional, he's gotten angry, and he just kind of like exhausts, shoots that out a little bit. Okay. And like he runs his hands through his hair, kind of untightens it up a bit. He doesn't really try to keep it organized, but it looks incredibly disheveled at this point. And like he's breathing heavy at this point. And he looks at his armoire and he sees the dagger is still sitting there. And he walks up to it and he looks at the reflection in the blade. And like it almost looks like he's still inflecting, but he's talking to it. And nobody here can hear it, but he's talking to it. And
talking to which dagger?
The dagger that he constantly keeps on his person before he goes to sleep, or he'll put it on the desk. He puts it within eye's view, and he does say, "I'm sorry for not being able to say your name." And that's it for me.
Awesome. Okay. And time comes, the bell rings 10 times in the city square. You hear it in the distance as you're all approaching, having met up, and silently approaching your the location that you need to be at. Magdohr being relatively quiet, usually just walking, and a little bit of tension between our closely bonded Vol and Rodger as you approach a little bit, and you approach and you see kind of like the since this is close to the Protector's Enclave, the lights here are actually magical in nature, and so they kind of have a little bit of a magical hum. They're not quite that, candlelight, but they hum a little bit, and you can see in that kind of bluish, whitish light, as you approach the bridge, you see Elgira standing there, and she greets you with a nod, and next week we will see what happens on the escort mission to the Fallen Tower Tavern.
Hell yeah.
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 Oh, you can find me on Twitter at 2timestyler.
You can find me on Twitter at LR the11th, all spelled out. And
my turn.
You can find me on Twitter at Glenn Houston.
And you can find me on Twitter at Zigzagoon.
You have a Twitter
now?
I've had one for a while.
Magic.
I just never use it.
This is amazing.
Oh my gosh. All right,
dude.
Tyler, you want to send us out and finish out episode 3?
Absolutely. We are a part of Casual Master Quest, a podcast network dedicated to giving you the video game news and tropes you deserve. You can find the show everywhere you can Google and on Twitter at MasterQuestPod. Glenn is a part of a sister D&D show called Ready to Roll, where you can find more of his and other talented players as they continue their quest in the Forgotten Archipelago. That was Nick. That was Randon. That was Glenn. And this is Tyler. We'll see you next week with another episode of Casual
Quest Masters.
Of Casual Quest Masters. God, why did we pick that as the title? And don't forget to
For
never
moments
stop the quest.
just like that. It's amazing.
Perfect, just like that. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us for today's episode of Casual Quest Masters. Thank you so much to you, our listeners, for being here, and to Sirenscape for allowing us to utilize their amazing programs for sounds and music. Check them out at sirenscape.com. We hope to see you here next time for the next episode of Casual Quest Masters.